My dad didn't even try to help me. He was too busy being an abusive asshole. We had to do only what he wanted, when he wanted it. And it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't, because really, it's his word versus mine. And I'm not considered a human being. I'm not even human being enough to fucking listen to. So my dad wasted an entire week of my time. A whole fucking week. After 4 years of fucking ignoring, pretending that I don't fucking exist, going out of his way to cut me off from resources at every fucking turn. No, my dad does not get to fucking fuck with me. He fucking ignored me while I went through hell over his fucking decisions. Hell. And it's not just him. If nobody fucking cares, then it's okay, isn't it? You're gonna tell me you're fucking sorry, aren't you? You're sorry, you're fucking sorry. Shut the fuck up and go away. Go fucking kill yourself. Does that feel good to be told that? Do you think it feel good when people tell me that shit? No, it doesn't fucking feel good. What does my dad do to help me? He fucking abuses me. That's what he does. He is literally going out of his way to try to pretend that he's trying to help me. But literally everything that he's done, I've looked into it. He's full of shit. He can't fucking listen to me, but he can literally go out of his way to only do things that he knows push me to fucking suicide. He is literally going out of his way to only do the things that he already knows push me to suicide. Just like with Natalie Bollinger and her dad. Yeah, between admitting that he fucked up and making his daughter go through fucking hell and fucking harassing me now nonstop for 4 goddamn years. Does my dad give a shit? No, he fucking doesn't. He does not care about the abuse I take on a daily fucking basis. He wants me to jump through a bunch of goddamn hoops to help him out when he fucking robbed me of the ability to do what he wants in 2019. Look what I fucking live in. He could have helped me in 2019. He decided to fucking abuse me instead, and that abuse cost me resources. Just like the abuse by Scott DaCosta and those cops cost me resources. All of this led to more abuse. Everywhere I go, I get fucking abused. Everywhere I go, I get taken advantage of because I can't take care of myself. I have to try to get help. Well, look at the help that I get. My dad pretending like he's going to send me money and he's going to come down here and he's going to help me. Bitch, you won't even fucking listen to a goddamn word I have to say. What the fuck makes you think that I'm okay with being in the same fucking room as you, or even the same fucking state as you, after you fucking threatened me, harassed me, assaulted me, destroyed my fucking good name? All to hide your fucking wrongdoings, Brian Schwartz, you fucking selfish piece of shit. You didn't give a fuck. You cared about exploiting me to make fucking money. I am not Rain Man. I am not a fucking stereotype. I am a human being. Just because I am autistic does not make it okay to abuse me. It doesn't make it okay to brush me off like I don't fucking matter. It doesn't make it okay to look away from all of the crimes committed against me. You fucking pieces of shit. No, Brian David Schwartz, after my entire life. Who is it that was in the system because they were selling cocaine? And who was it who was in the system because their daddy was selling cocaine? That's right, Dad. I was in the system because you couldn't stop selling cocaine. You were in the system because you couldn't stop selling cocaine. That's my fault, isn't it, Brian David Schwartz? It must be my fault, huh? No, Brian David Schwartz. What you've done is worse than what Ted Bollinger did. What you've done is worse. You went out of your way not to look at evidence, not to listen. All you want to do is be abusive. Well, guess what, Brian? People know what kind of an abuser you are now. And all the shit that you wanted to say to me all growing up, all of that fucking mean shit, oh, you don't like it back, do you? I have to just take it when I'm in your house. I got nothing left to lose, Brian Schwartz. That's where you fucked up. I have nothing left to lose, Brian Schwartz. You guaranteed that. You personally guaranteed that. And then you played victim afterwards. All of you do that because all of you know that you can. You can fucking lie to me. Oh yeah, I'm gonna help. No, the fuck you're not. You're going out of your way not to help. My dad's help this week has cost me over $200 and over 40 hours of fucking labor. Over 40 hours of my fucking time. He has been instructed repeatedly. Either you call me and listen, or you need to leave me alone. You need to stop harassing me. I've been to Walmart already more than once about that $200 of fucking bribe money you wanted to send, that you want to claim is not a fucking bribe. Well, it's still not fucking there, dude. I've been there on multiple occasions, and then you want to tell me again after literally ignoring me, ignoring everything I've said, you still want to just shove the money at me. Why are you trying to shove the money at me, Brian Schwartz? What, you believe that if I accept the money, you'll have a legal leg to stand on? Oh, Sean accepted my bribe, so he has to shut up now. No, Brian fucking Schwartz. You fucked up. You have repeatedly beaten and berated me and illegally incarcerated me multiple occasions. You have lied about me to the police. You have lied about me repeatedly throughout my life, Brian David Schwartz. No, what you're trying to do is do this all in texting and find little bits and pieces that you can take out of context. No, that's not fucking help. You never intended on fucking sending me shit. You never intended on coming down here and helping me. Oh, you want to claim that you were going to go all the way to Nebraska? You were going to drive all the way to Nebraska to help? Like fucking hell. You can't even hear a word I have to fucking say, Brian Schwartz. I have to say this shit on fucking YouTube because you won't fucking listen. You won't listen. See, that's the thing. I try to get help. You force me to go to YouTube. You force me to go to YouTube. You don't want to listen? Well, you know what? Somebody will. Somebody will fucking listen. Maybe you should think about the consequences before you back somebody into a corner and poke them with a stick. Maybe before you decide to lie to somebody, you should make sure that somebody with an IQ lower than you. Not somebody whose brains dance circles around you. I'm being abused because you want to twist something that you don't understand into someone else's fault. You want to play on those fears. You want to play on people's bias and their assumptions. You want to perpetuate this shit, and then you want to play victim. I'm not going to be nice to you, Brian David Schwartz. I'm not going to. If you can't call and listen, then you get no respect. You get zero respect. If you can't admit that you were trying to force your 15-year-old son to learn HTML to make fucking porno websites for you, that's on you. We made a deal last time I was up there. You broke your end of the fucking bargain, Brian David Schwartz. You were abusive as fuck. You thought that instead of keeping your end of the bargain, that you would just be abusive and everything would be fine. No, Brian David Schwartz. You're a useless piece of shit. People are fucking dead. And you don't fucking care. It doesn't matter to you. It doesn't matter to you the conditions that I have been forced into because you didn't give a shit. Then you want to play victim after the fucked up shit that you did to me. No, Brian Schwartz, there is no chance in hell of any communication between you and I that is not fucking recorded. I will not have you lie to me and manipulate me and have no evidence of it. That will not happen again. With Shannon Alvarado, I should have recorded every moment there. With you, I should have recorded every fucking moment there. You know what? At least I was able to record the important shit. At least the situation with Jamie Curtis, I was able to get some useful information and get it recorded. With Brett Roloff, at least I was able to record there the fucked up situation. No, if you're going to ask me not to record, you're up to no good and you cannot be trusted. That's the problem with most of these people in government positions. Oh, it's fine and dandy for them to record it. But once they find out you're recording it, oh, they're not fucking happy. You saw how Leslie Snell retaliated against me. She was pissed off that her voice was recorded on my YouTube channel. Too fucking bad, Leslie Snell. It's not illegal. Now, my dad could actually take a look at what I'm going through. The hell that I have been through for the last 4 years since he decided to be a little bitch. Try bullying me. You know what? He's still bigger than me. But after his heart surgery, yeah, he don't have it in him to fight me. I don't have it in me to fight anybody. I don't like fucking fighting. I don't like violence. I don't like it. Brian David Schwartz made his choice. If he wants me to make the videos private, no. He wants me to take him down. No. Not going to fucking happen. If you want something from me, you're going to have to give something in return. The help I fucking need. The help you fucking promised in 2019, Brian Schwartz. I'm not going to pretend that the things that I said about you are lies. I'm not going to pretend that you did not do those things. You want me to take that off the internet? You want me to make it private? Well, you're going to have to empower me to do so, you son of a bitch. All the resources that you robbed me of in 2019, you're going to have to give me those resources back. If you want me to believe anything that comes out of your fucking mouth, you need to listen and shut the fuck up. If you want me to believe anything that you have to say, then you need to understand I grew up in the system, and one of the rules that we had, one of the identifiers for a predator, if an adult asks you to keep a secret, they're up to no good. If an adult asks you to keep a secret, you tell on them immediately. I'm not keeping your secrets, Brian Schwartz. What I need is a human being who is not fucking afraid. Not afraid to be honest. A human being who is not afraid to look at evidence, verify it. I don't need help from a mouse. If I'm starving to death, a crumb from a mouse is not going to keep me alive. Brian David Schwartz, you have no voice because you are a coward. You are the worst kind of coward. You victimized your own kids, your own sons. Congratulations, Dad. You know exactly how Natalie Bollinger felt. Congratulations, Dad. You know exactly how Ted Bollinger feels. You don't give a fuck who's killed as long as you get to hide your crimes. As long as you get to hide your fuck-ups. Now, I'll admit, Dad, that you never, ever touched my genitalia inappropriately. Now, as far as maybe changing some diapers when I was a kid, yeah, you might have changed some diapers. You might not have. I don't fucking know. I don't have any memories from when I was in diapers. Although my dad never touched me inappropriately, he did point out little girls and tell me how I was supposed to feel about them. Yes, little girls. Girls my age at the time. He used to say stuff like, look at the shitter on that critter. Or he'd make fun of me because I was still a virgin at 12 years old. He didn't lose his virginity till he was 15. What the hell was he doing making fun of a 12-year-old for still being a virgin? One time we went on a road trip. I was 12. And there was this lady there at the hotel who kept hitting on my dad. And of course, my dad wanted to say a lot of things to me that were highly inappropriate. He wanted to say, you know, Sean, if you wanted to lose your virginity, I could probably give her a few bucks. My dad's a pretty fucking disgusting person. No, he would never in a million years touch me in any way like that, like Ted Bollinger touched Natalie. But you know what? If my dad had the opportunity, yeah, there's a chance he might want to touch inappropriately somebody like Natalie Bollinger, even if she was underage. If he saw signs that he believed would make it okay, make it more likely for him to get away with it, things that would show vulnerability on her part, such as the scarring that she had up and down both arms from cutting on herself. I can guarantee you that my dad would not molest me. But I can't guarantee that he would not molest a little girl, especially after his conduct and the way that he talked to me when I was 12 years old. 12 years old, he's trying to push me to care more than anything else. My dad just couldn't understand why I didn't care. Was completely dumbfounded by the fact that I wanted to read books. That freaked my dad out. My dad told me on more than one occasion that freaked him out that I read books. How fucked up is that? Now, I'm not saying that my dad has ever molested little girls, because I've never seen him molest any little girls. I can tell you he would not molest little boys. He is not into boys. I can tell you honestly, from my experience with my father that, yeah, he has no problems with pointing out the neighbor girl and saying, look at her tits. That's right. My dad's next door neighbor, it was a couple of homosexuals, and they had a girl living with them. I don't know if it was one of their nieces or what, but these two guys that lived next door to my dad were gay. They were gay. And my dad didn't like them because they were gay. But my dad would gawk at that girl who lived with them, and she was only 13 years old. My dad would tell me, hey, Sean, check out her tits. Check out her tits. Dad! What the fuck? No! Leave me the fuck alone. Stop pointing out underage girls to me. That creeps me out. My dad doesn't care, though. What he cares about is getting what he wants, what he wants, what he wants, what he wants. He didn't want to help me up there in Washington State. Claimed he would. But then all he was interested in was controlling my finances so he could control my voice. Well, that didn't work. See, much like with everybody else who tried to blackmail me and everybody else who tried to bribe me, I'm not for sale. My rights are not for sale. My friends' lives and their rights are not for sale. Our humanity is not for sale. Our Constitution is not for sale. Our bodies are not for sale. My dad's a pervert. He's always been a pervert. He'll always be a pervert. Nebraskans are trained to be perverts. They're also trained to shoot. They're also trained to hate blacks and Mexicans and homosexuals. I am the world's worst fucking Nebraskan. I don't hate homosexuals. I got lots of homosexual friends. I don't hate black people. I've got black friends. I don't hate Mexican people. I got Mexican friends. And guess what? I also got friends who speak Spanish that have never been to Mexico. I got friends whose first language is Spanish, and they've never been to Mexico. Now, I should be careful with the word friends, because when it comes down to it, the reality is I'm their friend. They're not mine. If they need my help, I'm not going to argue with them for 6 years. I'm going to try to help. Even after all the shit that Natalie and her friends pulled on me, when she disappeared, I tried to help find her and get her safe. And I listened to these Natalie Bollinger things that people are harassing and threatening me over. I want to know what these people are saying. Oh, they claim that I offered Natalie a loan. Offered Natalie a loan to get her safe. No. It wasn't a loan. It was every fucking penny that I had. I knew how at risk she was. I knew about Tim Beeson. I knew about Ted Bollinger. You don't think it's freaky having those men get a hold of you and fucking harass you and threaten to kill your friends and kill your family? You don't think that it's fucking freaky to have those people fucking call you up and fucking threaten you on the phone to kill you and kill your friends and kill your family? You don't think that'll fucking freak a guy out? You think that is something that I'm just going to be okay with? Especially knowing that both these men are sexual predators who actually touched children. Actually touched children. In specific, Natalie Bollinger for both of them. And Alicia Bollinger for Ted. My dad wants to claim he's trying to help. Well, he's not looking at evidence. His bribe money never arrived. He wanted to message me again this morning about his bribe money. Now, you guys, if you go back through and you look at the messages I'm posting on Facebook between me and my dad, you can see I'm not fucking nice to him. I am not fucking nice. Especially, especially after he wanted my number so he could call me. And then, of course, instead of calling me, he wanted to play more fucking head games. No, Brian Schwartz. You need to stop playing fucking head games. You are a sexual predator, Brian Schwartz. And obviously, you'll make any excuse why your sins are okay. If Diane dies, if she has a heart attack or dies of old age, heaven forbid, I have a hard time believing that you wouldn't go next door if there was a 13-year-old girl there, abduct her and fucking rape her. You are that fucking batshit goddamn crazy, Brian David Schwartz. And then you'd probably blame it on her. Oh, it's her fault. She came on to me. Here's the thing, Brian Schwartz, is that when it comes to Natalie Bollinger coming on to me, having a crush on me, thinking she was in love with me, yeah, that's the truth. I don't have to make it up. I have the proof of it. Not that you would ever fucking take a look. You are too busy focusing on yourself. You don't want people to know what a sick fuck you are. You don't want people to know that when you abused your own son, that you had him locked away for it. And then you blamed him. And then you treated him like shit over and over. Oh, all that money I spent when you were locked up. Why was I locked up, Brian Schwartz? Could it possibly have something to do with your habit of drinking rum and coke, feeling all good about hissy and fucking taking your bullshit out on me? Could it have something to do with you sucker punching me in the gut? Because you enjoyed listening to me go, and then you'd go off talking down to me like I'm an animal for 5 more minutes. And as soon as I got my air back, bam, right back in the fucking gut. Oh, you thought you were going to beat autism out of me, didn't you, Brian Schwartz? You thought you were going to beat Tourette syndrome out of me, didn't you, Brian Schwartz? You remember the time you beat me up because I refused to use the Noxzema pads? You remember that, Dad? Fucking 6 months of that shit fucking burning my face, making my pimples fucking worse. You're taking me because you don't want to have an ugly kid, so you want me to take a whole shit ton of fucking antibiotics that destroy my immune system because you don't want me to have pimples. And guess what? That shit was giving me pimples. As soon as I stopped wiping my face with that Noxzema bullshit and taking those fucking antibiotics, my pimples went away. But you wanted to beat the shit out of me because I refused to scrub my face with those things in front of you every fucking morning, standing there next to me, making sure that I scrub my face. Where the fuck were his priorities? Doesn't give a fuck about my books. Wants to treat me like shit because I care about books more than I care about football. Yeah, my dad's a fucking bully. And you know what? When bullies get busted being bullies, they want to play victim. Oh, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. He was this and he was that. Well, guess what? I saved evidence. What does my dad have? My dad wanted to make sure that I didn't record anything so that he could treat me however the fuck he wanted, and it wouldn't be recorded, and it would be his word versus mine. As somebody who is called mentally ill, it cannot be a situation where it is their word versus mine. It allows people too much power, too much control, and allows me to be victimized too easily. Yeah, my dad didn't touch me inappropriately. But he didn't care how inappropriate it was to force a 15-year-old boy who has already been traumatized by being raped repeatedly in the system, and you want to force him to make websites, porno websites, so that you can attach your 900 numbers to them. No, that is sexual predation, Brian Schwartz. You had your choice. You could have helped me, or you could have fucking played head games. You chose to play head games, Brian Schwartz. You had two choices in 2019. Keep your word. Help me to get this shit into court. Or B, what you actually decided to do, which is fuck me over. I will not trust anybody who doesn't want to be recorded, because they're hiding things, they're keeping secrets. For my dad eventually eking out the little bits and pieces that, yeah, he's talked to my mom, he listened to my mom, doesn't give a shit about me, hasn't listened to the recordings with my sister about the situation, hasn't listened to me about the situation. But every once in a while, he sneaks out something about my mom, lying as always. With my little sister, I can understand her situation, with her being threatened, harassed, and intimidated. I can also understand that she's on methamphetamines and can't stop, that she does need help, and that my niece needs help. Right now, my biggest worry is that my little niece is living with my sister, and my sister might actually be on those drugs. I mean, look at how much money she ripped me off for. And look at the help that she provided in that process. I saved the evidence of it, but nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Of course, Ted Bollinger keeps making accounts to harass me with on my YouTube channel here. And I keep taking screenshots of them. He's got probably close to 100 different profiles that he's created to harass me now. Alicia needs to tell people the truth, instead of allowing people to harm me over things that I never did to Alicia or Natalie. Alicia needs to come forward and tell the truth. Just like Natalie needed to come forward and tell the truth. Just like Maddie Boa needed to come forward and tell the truth. But no, they got away with it because they're females. Because I'm homeless and male and unattractive. I'm not tall, I'm not rich, I don't have a giant penis. What I do have is integrity. If doing back to my predators the things that they did to me is what it takes for them to understand, then that's what I gotta do. My dad doesn't want to pay any attention to the hundreds of YouTube videos that other people made that are full of slander, or the abuse that I endure every single day because of it, the rights that I am denied every single day because of it. And meanwhile, all it would have taken was one person to fucking step forward and not be a fucking coward and fucking speak up publicly. Actually speak up. You tell me you're not afraid, but you make zero effort to speak up. You tell me that your family was threatened, but then I'm called schizophrenic because I say, hey, people are threatening to kill the people who are trying to help me and their families. You say you're not afraid to come forward, but no, I have to record you. I had to record Sarah Bacon and put her on my YouTube channel. I've got multiple recordings with her that are not on my YouTube channel. But you know what? I don't have a way to actually access that from my car, from my financial situation, especially after being harassed by the cops in all the places in this town where there's resources. They tell me to go to the resources to help me, and I go to these resources. They don't help me. And I have to make these calls alone. And I don't have the ability to record them, so it's their word versus mine, and this is what I have been fighting against. I needed help so that it wouldn't be their word versus mine. That means it needs to be recorded. If you're going to try to hide it, if you're going to go out of your way to make sure that it's not recorded, that it is your word versus mine, then you are up to no good. That's one of those predatory tactics. Kind of like when your daddy touches you inappropriately and he wants you to keep it a secret. Or your babysitter touches you inappropriately and wants you to keep it a secret. No, I'm not fucking keeping your secrets, predator. I am not keeping your fucking secrets. You don't have that right. You took advantage of an at-risk adult knowingly, willingly, and intentionally. And you went out of your way to do everything that you could to make sure that that at-risk adult's evidence was never seen, not even by you. You claim that you're going to help me, and then you threaten, harass, and berate me, and then you don't like it back. Well, I only do it back because it's the only recourse that I have. Without help, I can't go to the police. Without help, in person, who is willing to look at the fucking evidence, who is not afraid of speaking up and being recorded doing so. The biggest problem with the American population is that the majority of the population are cowards. They will watch you murder their neighbor. And then they'll go back inside and watch a show about true crime. They will watch you, who they claim they are friends. They claim they care. They will allow the police to do horrible things to you and get away with it and not say a goddamn word. But they'll speak up for Elijah McClain, who would still be alive if something had been done when I first spoke up. Tibor Hatay. Well, depending on whether he was killed or after I was there. Now, when did Tony Kovaleski do his special on that? End of 2018. Sorry, end of 2019. My bad. So in 2019, they finally exposed the fact that Clearview murdered somebody. Now, according to one of the articles, Tibor Hatay was murdered in Clearview in 2017. I was there in 2018 and I spoke up. The fact that I was treated the same way that killed Tibor Hatay is fucking horrible. The fact that they had a history of doing that before I got there is fucking horrible, but we already knew this. Those of us who are homeless already know that these are the tactics that are used. What did it take to open an investigation against Clearview? How many of those patients told their families about the abuse that they were enduring? How many of those people who were locked up there tried to tell the police what they were enduring? And how many of them were blown off? How many victims were ignored? How many victims did they have to look the other way from before Tibor Hatay ended up dead? Our families don't give a shit. I'm told to go to my predators for help. My dad has been a predator my entire life. My dad was in prison because he didn't give a fuck. He thought selling drugs, cocaine, in the 1980s was an okay thing to do. And then afterwards, he thought being predatory in other ways was acceptable. My dad was really big into the swinger life. If y'all don't know what that is, well, look it up. Yeah, my dad is absolutely 100% a sexual predator. You don't have to touch somebody inappropriately for it to be sexual predation. The fact is, what my dad had me doing, trying to make porno websites for him that he could attach his 900 numbers to, there's a lot of different laws around that. Not all of them sexually oriented, but the fact is that is human trafficking. If you look up the laws surrounding human trafficking, yes, absolutely, that is human trafficking. That is specifically sex trafficking. That also violates child labor laws. My dad thought that he could force me to do something that was traumatic. And then he wanted to get drunk and beat me up over an F and PE that was because he wouldn't fucking listen. He wouldn't listen. I had to have a school uniform. Something so stupid as that resulted in 3 different ass whoopings from my dad. 3 different ones. Because he couldn't remember he'd already fucking assaulted me over an F and PE. He didn't stop to go, hey, my son, a freshman in high school, aced a college course in horticulture without any history in horticulture. Without taking the horticulture 1, without taking horticulture 2. I aced horticulture 3 and 4. But my dad was pissed off about an F and PE. I got an F because I didn't suit up. No, I absolutely suited up every day. My dad said, Sean, I talked to your gym teacher. Your gym teacher says black shorts and a white shirt are good enough. And I'd explain to him, Dad, I didn't get that teacher. It's the same school, same rules. No, because the PE teacher that I ended up getting, even though I suited up in what I was told to every day, my dad was too cheap to buy a school uniform. He bought a lot of fucking toys for himself. No, it's not exactly on your priority list to pay for a $18 school gym uniform when you want to spend hundreds of dollars on fucking sex parties and fucking porn. No, it doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work. When you want to get fucking drunk on rum and coke, and then you want to beat your kid over an F and PE because he didn't suit up. I did suit up. I suited up in what my dad provided for me to suit up in. I did not have any money to order my own school uniform, or I would have. I did not get an allowance like many of you guys want to talk about getting. Oh, well, you know, what about your allowance? Are you fucking kidding me? You got an allowance? You fucking spoiled little bitch. You fucking shitting me? No, I didn't get a fucking allowance. My allowance was not getting my ass beat. My allowance was doing what the fuck I told, or what the fuck I was told. That was my allowance. Brian David Schwartz, to this day, could fess up to the fact that he fucked up. Now, since these are sex crimes that he committed, there is no statute of limitations. Now, I was telling y'all that there's no statute of limitations on child molestation, rape, or murder. I was incorrect about that. Because, let's call it the expanded universe, right? There's people's general idea of what the law says. And then there's the specifics. When it goes into human trafficking, especially child trafficking, yes, that pursuit can go on for a long time. My dad could live for another 200 years, and as long as the laws about it aren't changed, as long as they stay as they are right now, yes, my dad can absolutely go into prison for human trafficking of his own 15-year-old son. See, here's the thing, is that if you are making porno sites, you are a sex worker. You are considered a sex worker according to the legal definition of sex worker. You are on the same list as somebody who does prostitution. But some forms of sex trade are legal, such as pornography. What's not legal is having children do that. Having children make porn or porno websites is illegal. So, with my dad, he wants to pretend now that he didn't force me to do all that HTML shit. That this is something that I wanted. I wanted to learn HTML. I wanted him to berate me and treat me like shit. I wanted him to force me to sit down for 2 to 4 hours working on HTML before I was allowed to even work on my homework. And guess what? I still got an A+ in advanced horticulture. I also suited up every single day for PE. How many times should a man be allowed to beat on his kid for something that he fucked up? Was it my fuck up on the school uniform? No, it was my dad, because he didn't want to fucking listen. He wanted to argue. Everybody wants to argue. When you're autistic, you are assumed to be retarded and don't know what the fuck is going on. But meanwhile, you get to look at the situations that I grew up in. You get to see that the situations that I grew up in do not allow you to remain ignorant, no matter how fucking stupid you are. You don't get to grow up in a fucking meth household and not know what a fucking teener is. You don't get forced to grow up with little girls who cut on themselves and not know what those fucking cuts are from. You don't get locked up with a bunch of little boys who tried to stab themselves in the fucking neck to end it all and not know why they did it. You don't get to grow up in the system taking classes on how to turn in your predators and not remember that shit. You just don't. But you also get to look all of this shit that we are taught to do to try to get help if we are an at-risk adult or a child who is being abused. And you get to see how when you do those things, do the cops actually help you? No, they give you a choice between staying with your predators or getting locked up. Those are fucking choices. You can either take the abuse at home or you can go into the system and take the abuse. As an adult, it's either take abuse at home or take abuse on the streets. I know a few women who went back to their dad's house, even as adults, knowing that their dad was going to rape them for being there because they were sick of being raped on the streets over and over again. So now you're having to choose the lesser of two evils. I wonder how many innocent boys, now that we've got all of this abortion stuff going on, and people are trying to say, oh, well, you know, it should be okay in the case of rape. If somebody is raped, then we should allow them to have an abortion. What about that girl who's scared? She's scared that it's going to hurt coming out. She doesn't want to have kids. She just wanted to do drugs and have fun, and now she's got consequences. What's to stop her? What's to stop her from making false allegations so she can get an abortion? They're pretty fucking good. The chances of more false allegations and more false charges against innocent men is the byproduct of a situation like this. You want to think only about the females, only about the females, only women matter, only women matter. Do you stop for one moment to recognize that men are human beings too? That not all men are lining up to pull a train on you? When you hate men because you were raped, I got a question for you. There's what, 6 billion men, 4 billion men? Did all 4 billion men on this planet line up and pull a train on you? Did all 4 billion men on this planet take part in gang raping you? Because if not, it's not men's fault. It's kind of like my mom hating all Mexicans. She claims that she was raped by a Mexican once, and that's why she hates all Mexicans. But then again, her own father raped her repeatedly, according to her own words. And does she hate white people? No. Does she hate farmers? No. You guys are completely fucking ludicrous and completely insane. And you think that if you change the rules, it makes it okay. No, the rules are supposed to be equal. My dad doesn't like equality. When he promised that he was going to help me in 2019 and I went to his house, between helping me and being verbally abusive and emotionally abusive and financially abusive, well, you know what? I can't be financially abusive to him, but I can be as verbally abusive as he was to me up there. I can use the same exact words that he used. That's right, I mirror my father. I give my dad my Brian Schwartz impression. You want to fucking be like that, Dad? Fine, I'll act like you. I will berate you. I will tell you what well, you guys have gotten to hear those words, haven't you? Should that be necessary? I mean, I tried being nice. I tried talking to him like a human being. He didn't give a fuck about me. All he cared about is other people's opinions and his reputation. Well, you know what? I've been telling people about what my dad did with those porno sites in 1995 to 1996. I've been telling people about that since about 95 to 96. I've been speaking out about it on my Facebook since I first opened my Facebook. There's all sorts of mentions of that story on my Facebook, and my dad wants to worry just about the stuff that's on YouTube. No. He also is likely to try to pretend that, well, I made this up and manufactured it after the situation with Natalie and being up at his house at 2019, which is why it's important to have evidence. The evidence shows that, no, I didn't manufacture something after Natalie died and he did fucked up shit just so that I could alleviate my pain and my wrongdoings. No, I've been speaking out about this for years. The evidence shows I've been speaking out about it for years. And my dad, if he wasn't such a fucking idiot, would know that. If my dad wasn't such a fucking idiot, Brian David Schwartz wants to claim that he was going to come down here for 3 days and help me. Well, how the fuck is he going to help me when he is too much of a fucking coward to even call and listen to what I have to say? How the fuck is he going to help me when he's sending money that's supposed to be meant for a bribe to completely the wrong fucking state, if he sent it at all? Completely the wrong fucking state. So he's got no idea what the fuck is going on. Obviously, how is his help going to fucking help if he has no clue what the fuck is going on and he is making decisions based on going out of his way not to find out? So he wants to send me a $200 bribe to Nebraska. Doesn't want to listen to a goddamn thing I have to say. He doesn't know shit about the situation here in Hood River. Oh yeah, and he wants a free pass for being a fucking pervert. Hell no, Brian Schwartz. You had two choices. Either A, you help me how I need, or B, it goes public. You do not have the right to privacy, Brian Schwartz. You're a sexual predator. Good to be rid of you. Thanks for coming to visit. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and no victim left behind.